Hello, everybody. This is Big Chonas. Thank you very much for joining me today. Remember, you guys can follow me on Twitter. I am at Big Chonas. You can also follow me on YouTube. I am at Big Chonas on YouTube as well. These are my best ideas, thoughts, and opinions. Do your own research. Okay, I wanted to start with Bitcoin's 4-hour RSI here because we've been watching this channel basically since the end of June hold more or less. We had a little break there, but that quickly was able to basically move higher when we put in a higher low here from our lows on the RSI. And now we see our support double tap and a potential third touch here of our RSI. If we do touch here right around here, we want to see that bounce. We want to see that curve over that can bring this, down here, bounce, and then that last, leg, another leg of a Bitcoin pump, and then bring the RSI somewhere up here, which puts it in it at least shows the bulls have still a lot of healthy strength here. But if we break down, if we break through this line here, then this line will again become resistance, which means we could come back up and test it. And if we're unable to break through it, that'd be a really bad sign for the price of Bitcoin and basically this whole rally as a whole here. And everything could basically, come down to other resistance and support areas to be tested lower. So I wanted to kind of start with that because the RSI has been really good gauge to determine, how strong this move has been and potentially when it could fall apart. So we're looking here at our 4-hour chart, and we basically still see our little bear channel here, our overall bull channel. We had our previous bear channel here, and we had a very nice resistance, a very nice support hold. We were riding our upper edge for quite a while. We kind of broke down, and then boom, we broke bullish, broke right through it, but we were not able to get to the top of this trend line here. And I kind of wanted to see that for the bulls because every time we've had a previous green candle, we were able to touch it, and break through it, but just for a FOMO wick there. Move that. You can see how that broke through, but was very short lived, and that basically started this previous downtrend there. So this green candle was very nice to see, but you see how we were unable to get to, you wanted to hit around 68.80 and was only able to top out around 68.40. So that is interesting in showing this slow curve around. Weakening potentially in the bullish momentum here that we've been watching for quite some time. I do want to bring up the stock RSI here. We have another bearish descending candle here where the blue has overlapped over the red, and you can see it's going lower there. We kind of have a mini head and shoulder here that could basically break the neckline. Kind of see happening here. If that does happen, this is going to shoot down pretty quick here. You see we keep going lower and lower and lower in our trend here. You want to top off up here. It shows strength, and basically it shows a nice healthy consolidation. This previous little run here didn't get up as high as the past ones. And that's basically why we had seen that in the price unable to touch this upper channel resistance. So where are we going from here? Well, we look at our channel here, and we do basically see how our bear channel is still kind of currently holding the price up here. We had a test of our channel here. We had a couple tests of our overall bull channel middle line here. And so we're right at the bull channel middle line holding support. And basically that's a bullish sign there in the sense that we can hold here and bounce up and potentially test up here somewhere around, 67.80, let's say. That's kind of your bull case scenario here. If we're unable to hold here, then we're definitely going to retest this middle channel of our bear channel here, and that puts us somewhere around 66 70, 66, 60 area, which isn't that far off from where we are now. So you see how close we are to basically holding this middle area of our channel. We break basically this little area here, and we're talking about $1,500 worth of price, $50 to $100 worth of price here. A lower channel support test, which basically hasn't been touched since we first started this, is definitely in play, and that puts the price somewhere around 5,500. And then from there, basically, we can even go lower. Now, we've been watching our Bollingers tighten up here. Let me just make these a little more apparent so you guys can see them. And let's get a different color here. That's better. Okay, so we see how our lower Bollinger is coming up, how our upper Bollinger has slightly turned. That's because the price is going sideways, slightly down. And we see the middle Bollinger is showing support as well. So we're going to keep an eye on this. As these tighten, volatility is to ensue. I do want to bring up the hourly. It's going a little tighter here. We basically see this kind of channel here. Still feel this is more of a bear flag happening where we broke down on the last one we set here. And still here, we're kind of going this sideways, looking for another break, definitive break here. We're just not seeing it yet. I guess I can make that a little wider there. Kind of bouncing around here, slightly rising in a way that this felt more of like a bear flag. This still feels more of like a bear flag, maybe a little rising wedge there. But either way, I'm looking for this break of this middle area here, if that is the case. And just on a very short time frame here, we do see that. Our RSI, we're basically in this, let me get rid of this guy here. We're basically in this area here where this support line is now acting as decent resistance. This basically was able to break, and every time it broke, the price was able to shoot back up. And now we're once again under it, looking for that next shoot up potentially. But now this line feels like it's even more stronger resistance than it had been before. So I wanted to touch base as well on the longs and shorts, because we've been watching this for quite a while and trying to glean some sense of what's going on here. So our longs hourly a little oversold here, but again, this is only a very short time frame. Pull up the 4-hour, you see basically we're still in a very nice bullish move still on our long contracts. We actually see the chart here. Basically, we see, this is a channel that's held for quite some time. Every time we touch this upper resistance here, the price got rejected. This is basically bearishness or bearish long rejections in the price of Bitcoin. Oversold. Now we're above it. We did break below. We came back and we broke above it. That was very promising. But once again, we want to see this line hold and a continued push higher. That's what the bulls want to see, because that basically shows stronger bullishness in this move and looking for more of a continuation. If we get back into this channel here, we were able to bust through it once again. We get back into this channel and this line once again becomes resistance, and this falling long contracts would signal basically a much more bearish sentiment in the price of Bitcoin. But we're still seeing some bullishness as long as this basically stays above this line here. I wanted to bring up the shorts. Oh, interesting. Didn't see that. So we've been watching this descending wedge here for quite some time. And looks like we're breaking through it finally. This is a gorgeous, look at that. We're putting in lower highs, we're putting in lower lows, so lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And then finally, it looks like we're just wanting to potentially test putting in a higher high and a higher low. So here's our low, here's our higher low, here's our higher low, but we have not put in a higher high yet. We're still getting rejected basically right here. So if we are able to bust through here and get to this resistance level here and then break through that, now we're definitely putting in higher lows and higher highs. And this is overall what we would see in a bearish situation, where the higher the short contracts go, the more bearishness is felt in the market. And the sense is that, the price of Bitcoin is going to drop. I do want to bring up this gap here that I'm still watching to get filled at some point. That would mean that short contracts will eventually shoot up and come up to this level here. They're currently way down here. We also have some sort of a cup and handle. You can basically kind of mention that, because if that does shoot up there, and this is a really big handle here, so this could be a very interesting ratio setter for how quickly and how big this move up could happen if the bearish scenario in Bitcoin does play out. If we're basically have confirmed rejection at around the $6,800 area, and basically the bulls capitulate and we start basically are continuing to head down, in our situation there. I do want to bring up the just basically a clean Bollinger look on the 4-hour here. You see how our middle Bollinger is holding support of the price. We see how when we break out of it, especially on a higher time frame like the 4-hour here as well, way too much too fast, we always come back in. So this is where people normally take profit when we're outside the lines that much. And basically, if we're able to find support at our lower Bollinger, that's a time where longs tend to load up and basically see how it interacts, and then take their profit when it breaks the upper Bollinger there. So we're seeing the middle Bollinger support there. Let's go to a higher time frame. Go to 6 hour. Again, still very bullish there because we're above the middle Bollinger, and this is our daily here. Look how basically straight we are right there. For these Bollingers to tighten, you really do need the price to basically drop. If the price keeps going higher here, then this one's going to go higher, and this one's going to go higher, and they kind of basically stay pretty wide. So a violent move in price is really the only thing that's going to bring these things a little tighter. We can see an example of it right here, where we're basically kind of sideways, the Bollies tightened, then the price dipped, and that was basically where you had that. That's basically as tight as it got right there when you had that big candle dip there. And sure enough, when it's through the Bollinger and the low, it's oversold, has to come back in. Was unable to basically break through your middle there. And a good buy signal could have been a firm breakthrough of our middle Bollinger there. Definitely puts the upper BB in place. So upper BB test basically puts us a hair under 7,000. That's kind of a good shoot for in terms of the bulls. And basically have support in the middle BB around 6,400, I would say, if we were able to collapse pretty quick. But on our daily candle here, we still saw our RSI was able to break this resistance area right here at around 50. That's a very encouraging sign there. This was basically unable to bust through, was able to bust through, might come back and test this line as support, which you would want to see it do. And if they're able to hold, then we could talk about a higher RSI price around 55 and higher. That would only correspond with basically a bull break of Bitcoin over, or closer to almost 7,000, probably at least $6,900. We put the RSI above 55 on the daily. So these are some of the indicators, some of the things I'm currently watching right now. The range is definitely tight, and we keep you posted as things progress. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to follow me on Twitter. I am at Big Chonis. If you did happen to like this quick video here, I would really appreciate a thumbs up at the bottom and a follow from you guys as well. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.